Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ Nuki and your girl.
It's here, Nicole.
We back on the channel with another
Kid and C original.
It's time to break up.
I'm tired.
What up? Welcome back to the channel, man. We got insanely twisted children. You know some twisted children. I know some evil children.
Yeah, I do.
Who you thinking about?
Who you thinking about?
Your nephew. Kicking on folks' dolls. Talk about some nigga. Nah. I'll just play it. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. No.
I'll just play it. But with that being said, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description about that. But the fact he knocked on his own grandma, don't tell us to play it, nigga. But with that being said, man, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box down below. You already know where to go. If you want to further support, check out the links in the description box, man. But again, it's insanely twisted children. He ain't insane or twisted.
Don't try to clean up now. Come on.
He's just a kid being a kid. But that was funny, though. Knocking on your own grandma door. Did he knock on your mama door? I took off running. Tried to record it.
That's what you said. And that's what happened.
Okay, shut up. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see what it's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Children are the epitome of innocence until they're not.
Did they say what it said?
Yes, it did.
Eric Smith was a peculiar 13-year-old boy. A victim of bullying, he was often teased for the way he looked. Beside his red hair and freckles, Eric wore large, thick glasses, which were supported by a pair of low-set ears that protruded unusually from the top. Eric was a loner, often seen riding his bike around town for hours on end by himself, unable to fit in with other children. He was described by his grandparents as a child who liked to goof around a lot and often sought attention. In the summer of 1993, Eric took part in a recreation program. It might have done well for him to get out and socialize with others in a different type of environment, despite his poor experience with it in the past. Derek Roby, at only 4 years old, was also attending the program. His mother would usually walk him as he was less than a block from where it was held, but that particular day, she had been tending to his younger brother. Derek assured her he could walk himself, and she let him go. Just 5 minutes later, the Roby family's lives would be forever changed. Derek walked down the sidewalk, quickly approaching his destination, when Eric Smith just so happened to be riding by on his way as well. Eric pulled his bike over and lured Derek to an area away from the road. Once there, Eric began strangling Derek. Being 9 years younger, he couldn't put up a sufficient fight. Eric choked him to near death before digging up a couple of large rocks and dropping them on Derek's head.
He been plotting that for the longest. And I bet you any money...
Wow. Not on that particular child, but
Just wanted to kill, the urge to kill.
Or to just get that, to kill, to get that or take that frustration out on someone.
It's not even that. I bet you if you look into his past when he was younger, I bet you he'd kill animals.
Well, they all start somewhere. I
bet you he shows signs.
They killing animals, playing with fire, starting fires, peeing in the bed.
He showed some signs though.
Yeah, so.
Cause I forgot he did say he was bullied and picked on.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Pulling him. From there, he ripped off Derek's clothes, sodomized him with a stick he found nearby, and dumped the Kool-Aid from Derek's packed lunch into the gaping wound in his head. Eric hadn't simply killed Derek. He stuck around to enjoy what he had done. Days after the murder, Eric had dropped by the police station not to confess, but to try to aid police in solving the case. He nonchalantly spoke with investigators and joyfully gave them information about what Derek was wearing the day he was murdered. But
he was gonna be a serial killer. He was gonna be a serial
crazy.
killer. He was warming up for it. Dang, bruh.
Investigators only believe that Eric was a witness at first. Derek Roby was buried in his baseball uniform on August 7th, 1993. Eric confessed to the murder 2 days later. Eric was given the maximum sentence for juveniles, 9 years to life, and he continues to serve today. Though he insists he's no longer a danger to society, he has been denied parole multiple times. His next hearing will be held in April of 2016.
Wow.
We gotta look into this.
I'm wondering, like, was there some, wires, some screws loose already?
That's the reason why I said.
Or was it due to the bullying that pushed him to be, so
have all that aggression built up to want to hurt somebody. But I want to say some screws are already loose for the fact that he was trying to help the police, going there.
Cause that kind of
that's a little loose. Screws.
Yeah, that's on a whole nother level, and then you wanted to stick around and watch him.
And to be honest, if he never confessed, would he ever got locked up for it?
No, because they would have never suspected that this child. He was still a child.
What happened to his clothes with the blood?
I have no clue. Beyond me.
Sometimes evil can be so overwhelming that it simply must be shared with others. Mary Bell was born in 1957 to a 17-year-old prostitute and was fathered by a habitual criminal. Living in a slum without adequate love or care, Mary lived a terrible life. From claims that she was forced into sexual acts with men since the age of 4, to her own mother trying to kill her numerous times in the earliest years of her life. Mary, as expected, was morphed into something a child should never become, a monster. Mary had began attacking and choking a number of other children, and she was firmly reprimanded for it, but no further action beyond that was taken. Mary was only 10 years old when her acts of violence became lethal. She had managed to corner a 4-year-old boy named Martin Brown in an old derelict house, where she strangled him to death. Investigators believe that Martin's death was accidental, as there was an empty pill bottle near his body. But that assumption would prove costly, as Mary's darkness...
Bro, autopsy.
Well, I'm pretty sure...
You like, I'm jumping to conclusions too fast.
I'm like, well, I don't know what
you
he's about
slow
to say.
down, bro. I'm like, bro. She already had showed signs.
Yeah.
And she was reprimanded. Man, you don't get no switch on her, bro. Like, come on now.
There was an empty pill bottle near his body, but that assumption would prove costly, as Mary's darkness only grew darker. A short time after Martin's body was discovered, Mary took a walk to his family's house. When his mother had answered, she asked to see Martin. His mother reminded her that Martin had unfortunately died, and she replied, "Oh, I know he's dead. I wanted to see him in his coffin." A couple of months after her first murder, she began to crave another. This time, she enlisted the help of her 13-year-old friend, Norma. They managed to trap a 3-year-old boy named Brian Howe. He was strangled to death, just as Martin was. But criminal behavior does tend to evolve, and Mary's sadistic cravings were no exception.
So that was her friend helped her?
Yeah, she was already a serial killer.
So now, since I thought you was jumping to conclusions, what happened to, did they not, what year was this?
It's at 58. 50, but still, y'all should still be able to do autopsies back then to kind of, I'm glad technology has evolved, bro.
What you said.
Because if we were still living with stupid people like that.
And was it a little boy? Another little boy?
Yeah, maybe she had a thing. She like boys, and she hated boys.
That's finished.
But there was a 3-year-old.
Later returned to Brian's body and, with a razor blade, carved an N into his stomach before switching hands and turning the N into an M, possibly to signify the first letter of each girl's name. She then used a pair of scissors to cut off some of Brian's hair, slash into his legs, and mutilate his genitals. Mary and Norma were eventually caught, and when they were told by investigators that they would be charged with the death of Martin and Brian, Mary said, "That's all right by me." Mary was released from prison in 1980 at the age of 23, and she's now in her 50s and a grandmother.
What? I gotta look this up.
In some hearts lurks an evil that could never be changed. There are few cases darker than the story of Jesse Pomeroy. Jesse was born in Boston, Massachusetts in 1859 to a widowed dressmaker. Jesse looked different from other children in a way that sounds like it came right out of a horror movie. Jesse's right eye was almost entirely white. Not much is known about Jesse's upbringing, but by the age of 11 he had developed a habit of taking younger boys to secluded areas, stripping them of their clothes, and tying them up.
Got another one. Y'all, like, they show signs. Too many.
This, he would punch and kick them until their entire bodies were bruised. Jesse's dark desires began to these children were counting on. That's all for now. Remember, you may not believe it, but anything is possible in a world so seriously strange.
Yo,
Wow.
that last one.
All of them for me.
God damn.
But I gotta look up Grandma.
Mary Bell and the first dude.
Can't remember his name.
We'll
But
find. We'll
I'll
go
go
back.
back.
But man, y'all make sure y'all continue to spam us up in the comment section down below. Let us know what else y'all would like to see us react to, so we can always bring it over here for y'all, man. But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ Kid. This is.
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and
We
Sierra.
are, y'all.
Ain't no time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my